Belarusian autocrat Alexander Lukashenko, in a brazen display of authoritarianism, claimed he harbored no regrets regarding his complicity in Russia's invasion of Ukraine, a decision that solidified his international isolation and further cemented his brutal rule. This statement emerged amidst widespread condemnation of the Belarusian presidential election, a widely derided sham designed to perpetuate Lukashenko's 31-year grip on power. The election, far from reflecting the will of the Belarusian people, serves as a stark reminder of the oppressive environment in which they live. The reality for Belarusian citizens, as articulated by opposition leader Sviatlana Tsikhanouskaya, is one devoid of free and fair elections, a life constantly shadowed by fear, arbitrariness, oppression, and rampant human rights violations. The very foundation of a democratic society, the right to choose one's leader, is systematically denied to the Belarusian people. Lukashenko, a 70-year-old former collective farm boss, has ruled Belarus with an iron fist since 1994. His ascension to power was followed by a long history of suppressing dissent and stifling any semblance of opposition. The August 2020 elections, which sparked the largest anti-government protests in Belarusian history, were met with a brutal crackdown, further solidifying his authoritarian regime. The crackdown, characterized by widespread arrests, imprisonment, and torture, served as a chilling reminder of the consequences of defying the regime. The international community responded with condemnation, but Lukashenko remained defiant, his grip on power unshaken. His decision to allow Russia to use Belarus as a launchpad for the full-scale invasion of Ukraine in 2022 marked a turning point, irrevocably deepening his country's international isolation and drawing further scrutiny to his human rights abuses. While over 250 political prisoners have been released since July of the previous year, a significant number, approximately 1,250, remain incarcerated. Some analysts interpret this release as a strategic maneuver, a tentative attempt by Lukashenko to foster rapprochement with the West, anticipating potential benefits from any future détente between Russia and Ukraine. He seeks to avoid complete marginalization should a peace agreement materialize. This calculated move, however, does little to mask the ongoing human rights violations and the pervasive atmosphere of fear that permeates Belarusian society. The fate of prominent political opponents serves as a stark illustration of the regime's ruthlessness. Lukashenko nonchalantly declared that some opponents chose imprisonment or exile, a cynical justification for his oppressive actions. The case of Maria Kolesnikova, a leading figure in the 2020 campaign to oust Lukashenko, exemplifies the regime's cruelty. Imprisoned since September 2020 and held in strict isolation, she was denied visits fra. Only after significant pressure did her father gain access to visit her in prison last November. Lukashenko's claim that she is fine rings hollow given the documented conditions of her confinement. The complete suppression of dissent is a defining characteristic of Lukashenko's regime. Fear permeates every aspect of Belarusian life. Even those expressing support for Lukashenko in interviews with AFP, conducted in Minsk and other towns, were hesitant to reveal their surnames, a clear indication of the pervasive climate of fear. A 42-year-old farmer, Alexei, from the village of Gubichi in southeastern Belarus, offered a cautious endorsement of Lukashenko, stating that conditions had improved since his ascension to power. However, even he expressed a shared wish among many Belarusians: an end to. This sentiment underscores the broader impact of Lukashenko's actions, extending beyond the confines of his internal repression to the wider regional instability. The contrast between Alexei's hesitant support and the widespread condemnation of the election highlights the deep divisions and pervasive fear within Belarusian society. The staged election, as described by Tsikhanouskaya, is a mere charade, a sham designed to tighten oppression, a farce built on fear, repression, and lies, further solidifying Lukashenko's dictatorial rule. Social media footage revealed displays of the traditional white-red-white Belarusian flag, banned by Lukashenko in 1995, at various events across the country. This act of defiance, though risky, demonstrates the simmering resistance to Lukashenko's. Franak Vyachorka, an aide to Tsikhanouskaya, highlighted the regime's retaliatory threats against the relatives of those participating in such acts of defiance. The regime's willingness to target family members underscores the lengths to which it will go to maintain its oppressive control. The actions of the Belarusian people, despite the overwhelming risks, showcase their unwavering resistance against Lukashenko's autocratic regime and their desire for freedom and self-determination. The Belarusian people's struggle for freedom continues amidst a climate of fear and oppression, a testament to their resilience and determination. The international community must continue to press for an end to the repression and support the Belarusian people in their pursuit of a democratic future. The sham election and Lukashenko's continued rule represent a grave injustice and a violation of fundamental human rights.